because chapter 37 is it's one of his 4 visions that he has in the book, and he sees this valley of long dead bones and an open graveyard. So basically the picture is death, and the picture is really like curse of death based on biblical law in Deuteronomy. And so you have this. So I guess the way I would like to start is saying this is this death-like nature of exile is expressed in what Ezekiel sees. So this graveyard and these long dead bones. But it's also expressed, so this death-like nature of exile is also expressed by the question that the Lord asks of Ezekiel. And he says to Ezekiel, can these bones live? I mean, think of this. I mean, Ezekiel's a priest. And you know what? He responded so well. I mean, here he is a priest. He knows Torah very well. And he could have started to answer Yahweh, but he says, oh, only you know, sovereign Lord God. And so basically what God is asking Yahweh is, can life come out of death? And the answer is yes. The vision is saying, yes, Ezekiel, life can come out of death. And the sentiment of the people that are expressed here is, they say our bones are dried up, our hope is gone, we are cut off. And so can the emotional turmoil of sin be changed? Is there a chronological end to the consequences of sin? And so in the vision, God is promising the impossible. Basically, he is saying, out of death, life can come. And so he recreates. And because of this incredible divine intervention, these bones can live. And so hope then, I think, in this vision lies in the belief that restoration, so the return from exile, kin to believing in the resurrection.
Wow. That's so powerful.
It is good,
It's remarkable. And, the curse of death, can it be changed? And he's saying, yes, it absolutely can. And so in my mind, the physical return from exile that began with Cyrus in 539 BC kind of starts the clock ticking for the restoration. But the death and the resurrection motif here in 37 points way beyond the restoration that was achieved by Cyrus in 539 BC, because you fast forward to the New Testament and, we are reminded by Paul that we were dead in our trespasses and sins, and then God made us alive. So Ezekiel is moving. You have the restoration, the return from exile. There's the beginning of the death to life situation, but it speaks to so much more. So that's my take on it.
I like too that there isn't a sort of dualistic thing going on here, because we're coming right off of 36 where we have to do surgery on the heart, and then we're talking about the resurrection of bodies as well, right? I mean, this sort of very ancient Near Eastern, very Hebrew Bible sort of thing where we're not separating the two. They go hand in hand, don't they? It's part of the whole human being. You're not human without your bodies, but you're also not human if you have the heart itself needs to be healed too, So I like this sort of this holistic approach that's happening here just in Ezekiel in these 2 chapters. So very interesting. So go ahead.
One more thing in. As you were also talking, what hit with Ezekiel 37, the message you just shared, is it hits even harder when we've already been discussing about the wide sweep of the whole book of Ezekiel, where when we let the death of 1 through 23 hit long enough, then we realize that Valley of Dry Bones passage, if we only teach it without having any sort of context what's before, we don't have the death part doesn't hit hard enough.
No.
And then the resurrection part also doesn't hit hard enough, if that makes sense. That's kind of what, as you were talking, that kind of hit me,
Oh, I completely agree. I think you said it very well. 100%.
That's great.